Hey, this is Steven Platinum, your friend in wrestling, with Platinum versus NXT from December 23rd, 2020. It's a show that didn't really do a whole lot, though there were some very good matches, which is the NXT tradition. It's a very Gargano Christmas. We're at the Capitol Wrestling Center in Orlando, Florida. Vic Joseph is there, and he's joined at ringside by Wade Barrett and remotely by Beth Phoenix. Got a street fight right off the jump for the NXT Tag Team titles. We've got Killian Dane, Drake Maverick against Oni Lorcan and Danny Burch. The end is strange here. So we've got cricket bats in the ring, belt shots, all this kind of stuff. They double team assisted DDT to Drake in the middle of the ring, and they retain Lorcan and Danny Burch. They stand tall. They talk a lot of trash. It's a very weird theme of this show where everybody seems like they're talking trash to the losers in this conquering pose. Odd thing. It is what it is. We got our first a very Gargano Christmas at the home of the Garganos. The Way is there. They're opening gifts. Indy's impressed. This is their first family Christmas together. Theory opens a present. It's protein powder. And it's a brand with Gargano's logo wrapped around it. So, Finn Balor and Kyle O'Reilly is going to revisit their TakeOver number 31 main event. At least they're promoting something that's not happening on this show. It's good. We go to a commercial. We got Kyle O'Reilly and Finn Balor looking back at their main event and looking ahead at their New Year's Evil rematch. Nothing great shakes there. Mackenzie's back there with Tyler Rust and Malcolm Bivens. So, she congratulates them on the loss. And then they say, like, yeah, that we lost, but we took them to the limit. Let's go make some money. Boy, just not a lot here for NXT. Here, I'll just start going off. NXT's problem is, if you've happened upon it, there's very little that would catch your eye and make you want to stay. AEW, just in terms of sheer aesthetics, is a much more lively show. It's a much more colorful show. And there's a sense of joy about it. NXT is joyless. That doesn't mean that baby faces never win and that they don't do some of the silly things, but the whole look of the show is very dark. It's in a space that seems to suck up the joy, frankly. And it kind of marches along from match to match to match. Case in point. So we got Isaiah Swerve Scott against Jake Atlas. They have words. They shove each other. They do a match. They go to commercial in the middle of the match like they did in the middle of the first match. It's just hard to get into a rhythm. Swerve eventually wins with his move. And then he disrespects Atlas. And then they trash talk each other, and it's over. It's just, there's no joy there. And there's nothing that would invite a new viewer to sort of stick around. Mackenzie's backstage with Adam Cole and Roderick Strong. They talk about, Kyle O'Reilly challenging Finn Balor on January 6th. Velveteen Dream interrupts. So we've set up a match for later. And then the famous Rhea Ripley and Dakota Kai walking and then go to commercial. I mean, the WWE in general needs to get rid of these tropes because it will force them to think of better ways to do everything. There was a time where somebody walking backstage was meaningful, but it had to be a huge star. To have regular people doing it doesn't invite us to come back from commercial and watch. That's what I'm saying. So Timothy Thatcher's in the back. Ciampa wants to fight him. All that kind of stuff. This is him setting up his match with Leon Ruff later. Thatcher wants to fight Ciampa. Great. Rhea Ripley versus Dakota Kai. And we know they're going to fight because we saw them walking earlier. It's a very good match. I just, NXT's got that down in spades, right? You're going to see good matches. And you're going to see a mix of people who are newer and people who have been doing it a minute. And that's good. Rhea Ripley wins. Gonzalez and Ripley continue to stare each other down. And then they fight. And then they get separated. And they're trying to stop the chaos. We're back with the Garganos. Indy opens up a PS5. But there's nothing in there. I do like this bit. He said he gave her the box for dramatic effect, but he's going to give her something better. And he christens her Indie Wrestling. Indy says that's way better than a PS5. They support indie wrestling. And they all say how beautiful it is. So my question is, not that it really matters ratings-wise, but are they mocking the idea of indie wrestling? That doesn't seem to be a good move. Just saying. There's an open disdain for wrestling that happens at the WWE level, and I'm alarmed a little bit if that's getting to NXT. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Mackenzie's back there with Toni Storm. She wants to take the title from Io Shirai. That makes sense. And Toni Storm has her little thing. She's got a second problem, and her name is Toni Storm. What? I know. I'm excited too. We get a vignette with Xia Li and Boa, and I've been saying how they need to escalate the action and advance the storytelling. And they are, which is great. Now they're kind of wanting the abuse, and Barrett, to put a fine point on it, says Leah and Boa are turning into warriors. Great. Though there's no sense of when these vignettes are going to truly end or advance. But at least it appears they're advancing the story, and they're cognizant of the fact, I won't take credit for that, though maybe I should, that they need to sort of heighten and explore these stories, which is great. Bronson Reed against Ashante the Adonis. A kind of a short match here. Reed hits his tsunami splash and wins. He yells out that everyone should be afraid. Mackenzie Mitchell catches up to Io Shirai. She heard what Toni Storm has to say, and she reacts to it, which is a great change of pace. She marches to the ring, and she's all business. Tells Storm to come out. Storm's music hits, but she's attacked from behind by Mercedes Martinez, which is really great. Oh my God, thank you for getting away from Retribution. Martinez keeps punishing her. That's a good advancement. That's a nice surprise. It's a good thing. Garganos are there. They pose for a group Christmas photo after he gives her junk from Shotzi Blackheart's tank. Silliness. Timothy Thatcher versus Leon Ruff. Long story short, Leon Ruff manages to win this, which is good for him. And then Thatcher and Ciampa have a little bit of a dust up, and Ciampa leaves him laying. Thatcher has to get up and slink to the back. Damian Priest sends a warning to Karrion Kross ahead of their match at New Year's Evil. Good, we're actually advancing some things for the next show, which is really good. And that's in 2 weeks, yeah. So New Year's Evil host Dexter Lumis is drawing a poster for Rhea Ripley versus Raquel Gonzalez. But didn't we just establish Mercedes Martinez? Okay. Well, it is what it is. It's a last woman standing match. Great. Aria Daivari and Tyler Rust do their thing. Tyler Rust wins with a submission. Leon Ruff comes out of the office of William Regal. He's going to get a rematch. He puts on his Santa hat, walks off. Good stuff. Again, we're advancing. We're not spending half the show promoting the other half of the show nearly as much. And you could see the show is picking up momentum as it goes on, which is wonderful. But again, it's about grabbing them in the beginning. They still haven't mastered that. They're still going to tropes like people walking backstage before you go to commercial. And sure enough, here's Adam Cole and Roderick Strong walking backstage. And then we go to commercial. Ay. But they're trying. Video package with Karrion Kross and Scarlett. Scarlett says they're going to get their title back. Next week, they're going to have the year-end rewards and Leon Ruff challenging Johnny Gargano for the title. That's great. Adam Cole versus Velveteen Dream. Long story short, Adam Cole wins. And that's how we end this show before Christmas. Nothing's too surprising. Pretty meat and potatoes here. But a good show that shows signs of life, especially in the second half. Now we just got to get that life and get that joy in the entire show. This has been Stephen Platinum, your friend in wrestling, with Platinum versus NXT. Yeah.